My 57 Chevy was intended to be a have-it-all car. It was built to look like the iconic 57 Chevy, but would offer the performance, handling, and comfort of a new car. In fact, the performance was intended to exceed most new cars, yet have the appearance of a mild custom. Thus, the exterior of the 57 was largely kept intact except for the removal of hood and trunk trim and the hood rockets. Of course, the stock tires would not handle the power and they needed to be upgraded along with the wheels. The 57 is finished in Chevrolet Victory Red, a favorite color in late model Corvettes and Camaros. It was built on an Art Morrison GT Sport chassis, but more about that later. The 57 sits on Hoosier tires mounted on 15-inch Weld Racing ProStar polished aluminum wheels. The rear tires have 11.5 inches of rubber on the road, which required the fenders to be mini-tubbed, none of which is visible. All exterior lighting utilizes LEDs except the headlights, which are halogen tri-bars. As you can see, the 57 is powered by a Chevrolet Performance 572 cubic inch crate engine rated at 620 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, although some modifications were made to improve the engine's street manners. I like that the engine is readily recognizable by most car buffs with the engine callouts on the valve covers. It's important that the entire drivetrain can handle the power of the engine. The 572 feeds into a 4L80E transmission, which is a heavy-duty 4-speed automatic with a 0.75 ratio fourth gear. The 4L80E transmission is not installed on passenger cars, but certain trucks and commercial vehicles. The transmission is programmable through a CompuShift controller and provides power to a 350 ratio Eaton Detroit TrueTrack Posi rear. Between the fourth gear overdrive and the rear end ratio, the engine only tacks at around 2100 RPM at 70 miles an hour. Other prominent features include a Spectre cold air intake system, a Be Cool radiator module good for 700 horsepower, and a Street and Performance serpentine pulley system, all nicely finished in chrome or polished aluminum. A wiring harness is provided under the hood to permit hooking up a battery tender. Noticeably missing are the battery and master cylinder to clean up the engine bay. The battery is mounted in the trunk, and the master cylinder is mounted under the dash to present a cleaner engine compartment. Access to the master cylinder for adding brake fluid would be from the original speaker grille located on the top and in the center of the dash as shown. Power brakes were provided by what is termed a Hydro Boost or Hydrovac system from Hydrotec Braking Systems. This type of brake assist unit utilizes the hydraulic pressure from the power steering system instead of engine vacuum to provide brake pedal assist. This system is commonly used on diesel and electric-powered vehicles. The custom hood latch is solenoid operated from a button near the driver's seat. The Art Morrison chassis requires the engine to be mounted several inches rearward for improved weight distribution. Consequently, the firewall had to be recessed 4 to 5 inches to allow for the big block's dimensions and position. The 57 was built on an Art Morrison GT Sport chassis. Here's a quick look. The front suspension includes chrome tubular steel control arms and strange engineering adjustable coilover shocks with matched rate 1-inch diameter chrome sway bar. Also in place of the original steering box is an AGR power rack and pinion with 20-to-1 ratio. The chassis was engineered to accommodate the Chevrolet big block motor and 4L type transmission. It was ordered with a specially engineered header kit with ceramic metallic coating that provided sufficient clearance for the steering linkage. The rear suspension is a triangulated 4-bar with Strange Engineering adjustable coilover shocks and 3/4-inch chromed sway bar. Also included are Strange Engineering 31 spline axles and modular iron 9-inch center section. West Coast differentials provided the 350-to-1 ring and pinion gears, and Eaton provided the Detroit True Track helical gear style limited slip differential. The chassis was ordered with Willwood 4-piston caliper disc brakes with 11-inch drilled rotors and a drum-style parking brake. The entire exhaust system, from the headers to the tailpipes, is aluminum ceramic coated including the mufflers, so it has a stainless steel look without the tinny sound of a stainless steel exhaust. A short pair of Flowmaster mufflers up front and a pair of Dynamax Super Turbo mufflers rearward handle the output of the 572. It's still a lively sound resonating through the 3-inch pipes, but if additional performance or attention is desired, the electronic exhaust cutouts by QuickTime Performance can be opened with a flick of a switch inside the console. Of course, that would be strictly for off-road applications. Let's take a look inside the cabin. The interior was designed to provide a modern, elegant touch to the 57 Bel Air. High-grade saddle leather covers most of the interior, including the seats, front and rear door panels, steering wheel, console, dash, headliner, and rear package shelf. The gauge pod on the dash and the bucket seat bottom trim are painted a matching color. The floor is covered with a matching German tight square weave carpet. The cabin is entirely insulated with Dynamat to reduce outside noise and heat. The 57 is equipped with power steering and brakes, power windows, including vents, and 6-way power Lexus bucket seats. It's equipped with vintage air, heat and air conditioning, and has vents at the windshield for defrost, the dash for heat or air conditioning, and the floor for heat. The ashtray and glove box were removed for a cleaner looking dash. The custom analog gauges are by Dakota Digital. And the correct appearing quartz clock is by Classic Industries. The light switch activates the tri-bar halogen headlights and LED park and tail lights. The dome light is also LED lit. The 2-speed windshield wipers are by Rain Gear and are of modern design. The audio system is by Sony and includes a CD player and a USB port for iPhone, iPod, or flash drive. The shifter is a B&M Quicksilver ratchet type, making it very easy to shift between gears. Simply ratcheting the shifter forward or backward will upshift or downshift the transmission without concern for accidentally shifting into neutral or worse. Leaving this selector in drive will permit the transmission to automatically shift through the gears. The storage area in the console includes two 12-volt outputs, but both are fused at 30 amps to handle heavier applications like an air compressor. This is also where the electronic exhaust cutout switch is located. The steering wheel is by Billet Specialties. And the chrome steering column is by Flaming River and has the tilt capability as well as cruise control, lane change directionals, and 4-way flashers. The front seats are equipped with 3-point retractable lap and shoulder seat belts. The retractor mechanism was installed behind the rear seat door panels. The shoulder strap runs through a guide on top of the seat and then through another guide mounted on the rear door panel and finally into the door panel armrest through the retractor. The seat belts can easily be removed from the seat backs in order to facilitate entrance and egress of rear seat passengers. You'll notice that the rear V emblem was replaced by a third LED brake light for improved safety. The other 2 brake lights use a rapid fire feature. When the brakes are applied, the lights will flash 3 times in quick succession before remaining on. This repeats whenever the brakes are reapplied. The rapid fire feature also works with the directionals and the flashers. The exhaust extensions are 4-inch pipes compressed into oval shapes, and the bumper was cut to allow the upper half of the extensions to nest neatly inside. As you can see, the trunk and trunk lid are also finished in saddle leather and the floor in the German square weave carpet. The inner wheel wells are closed off by panels to disguise the mini tubbing, but there remains plenty of space for folding chairs and so on. The left panel hides the retracting radio antenna and the right panel hides a security switch. Doors were added to the rear package shelf area for smaller items like cleaning products and also provides access to the radio's amplifier. During the build, the question of auto alarms came to mind, since it would be better to integrate any electronics into the car before it was completed. After a good deal of research, the Smart Tracker Vehicle Recovery System by Rocky Mountain Tracking was selected. My 57 was a 5-year restoration project starting in 2007 and delivered in 2012. It was worth the wait.